Let's move to the next bird's action, the tweeting. First, let's organize everything and hide the layers we won't be using for now, except for the bird shout layer. We will need it at this stage. Set composition marker to see the beginning and the end of the stages. Let's set a name and a color for it. Then I want the bird to sit down, reach up and tweet. As anchor point moved because we have been animating path, we will create null object and place it right below the bird's body. We do it because the scaling should be based on the bottom of its body. Let's turn on snapping to make the work easier. Now you can turn it off. Let's rename it to body control and parent body layer with this null object. Cut the beginning of this layer. When we move on to animating the body, the legs will remain where they are. Highlight the legs layer with orange to see them easier. So cut the legs layer here and unparent it from the body layer. Let's animate the body. Let's animate position, scale, and rotation properties. Press P, then Shift+S, and Shift+R. Create keyframes on position, scale, and rotation. Let's move 10 frames forward and set the pose of the bird when it is tweeting. Adjust the arch. Let's adjust easing. Select the keyframes and press F9. Go to Graph Editor. Select the keyframes and in Motion Tools panel check 73. Not bad. Now we need the bird to remain in this pose for a bit. Select the last keys. Move 10 frames forward, select the keyframes and press Clone. Clone allows us to copy the selected keys. Now we need to return the bird to the initial pose. Move 10 more frames forward, select the first keyframes and press Clone. Adjust the arch. As you can see, there are some extra Bezier handles. Let's fix that. And now let's finish adjusting the arch. Let's check easing. It looks fine. Just add squash and stretch to the bird. Let's increase these values a bit. Copy this key and paste it in the moment the bird moves down. Not bad. Let's animate the legs. Find path property for both legs. Create keyframes and delete the keyframes we had before. We won't need them because we have cut the layer and all the values are saved on the cut layer. Let's animate path property. I'll speed up this process. Now the body seems to be placed too high. Let's move it down and pull the arches. Great. Let's finish animating path property. Done. Now we will animate the beak. Find path property for the beak, select the keyframe with the closed beak position and copy it. Let's move 2 frames forward and copy the keyframe with the open beak position. Let's find on the timeline the moment the bird starts to reach up and move the keyframes there. Move 2 frames forward, copy the closed position. As a result, we'll get a complete beak opening movement. Let's duplicate it until the moment the bird is getting down. Let's move the keyframes a couple of frames to the left. Not bad. Let's add a bit of shaking to the bird to make it look more expressive. Find the slider control and apply it to the body layer. We'll create the shaking using wiggle expression. Let's find position property, press it holding Alt, and write in wiggle expression. The first number in the expression is responsible for the frequency, and the second one is for amplitude. Let's check what we've got. The bird is shaking, but does it throughout the whole animation. I need it to shake only when it's reaching up with the beak open. Slider control will give us exactly the control we need to do that. Let's parent the amplitude with slider control. Select 100, find Pick Whip tool and pull it to slider control. Now, instead of 100, we have this expression written in. It will transfer slider control values here. All that's left is to animate it. Create a keyframe, move to the necessary moment on the timeline, press U. Drag the keyframe and then animate it from 0 to 100. And then let's switch off the expression animating it from 100 to 0 in one frame. Copy the keyframes. Select, right-click and find Time Reverse Keyframes. That will allow us to switch around the keyframes. A bit of residual movement for the body is what the bird is lacking now. Let's move the last keyframe on position. Copy and paste it. Move it up a bit. Fix the Bezier handles. Let's make the last keyframe linear. Now let's check easing. As you can see, there's a bit of residual movement now, just the way we wanted. Let's move on to animating the tail. Animate bend property. Select the keyframes, press F9. Let's make the last keyframe linear to ensure the expression works. Let's finish animating the tail. Let's leave it like that for now. Now we will continue with animating the tweeting. Turn on the necessary layer and drag it closer to the bird. Let's parent this layer with the body layer. Add trim path. Animate end property. Select it and press F9. Copy the keyframes with end and paste them to start property with a bit of offset. Let's check the result. In one place, the tail looks rough. Let's delete the keyframe. That's better. We have finished with the second stage of animation of the bird, the tweeting. Now let's move on to the third stage.